TikTokers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're having the best day ever. Okay. We are going to be diving in, and I'm honestly just wanting to have a completely, I don't know how long this is going to go on for, a completely, me and you, conversation about the Ace family. Now, the Ace family are people that we really haven't covered on my channel, and the reason for that is because I have such a strict opinion on family channels, and it is that I don't mess with them at all. And it's not because, you know, I don't want to talk about them, whatever. I just so do not stand with the Ace family and what they do with their children, and how I personally believe many of these big family channels exploit their children for clicks and income. And before we get into their video, I do just want to explain that a bit further, right? Family channels, in my opinion, the really big ones, right? The really big ones exploit their children, experiences, emotions, everything. And I've always used the example that a child can be part of a family channel and will have all these memories, right? We'll look back on their mom and dad bringing them to Disneyland and how great of a memory that was. Once they turn around 16, 17, 18 and they go online and realize that that was taking kid to Disneyland, best day of their life, and realize that that was just content and clicks, they'll start to look back on what they associated with really amazing memories as just realizing that that was not a true intent from their parents, and mainly just a way of, when their views were going down, a way of creating an exciting video about a kid being surprised, excited, for clickbait. And I think that that's really sad. And I think that we are going to see eventually where a child turns 18 and sues their family for using them for basically the family's income, the family writing off the backs of these children, right? And then most of them, in my opinion, will not even see the full money that they were earning their family whenever they turn 18, if ever. Because why? These family channels live a really weird life where they are involved in like flex culture and, you know, buying $1 million houses and all these cars with the money that they're making off their children. And it's like, all right, how much of that are you going to give to your kids? And if you're going to give them a big chunk of money, what happened to the millions upon millions that they're making you on a daily basis? There's no real regulations, because family channels are such a new thing, about the child work rates, child work hours. Children aren't allowed to work, you know, for very long hours, if any hours. And family channels are basically children working 24/7, and there's just not regulations for that. So I don't really talk about family channels on that preface, right? I really don't agree with them. And I've stayed consistent with that opinion for quite some time now, and it's just something that I don't fuck with. However, the Ace family have been behind the scenes for a while, but now publicly involved in so much mess. You know, they're getting sued left, right, and center by all of these different people, and their house is up for foreclosure. And they've been addressing this publicly by saying that it's just tea channels and drama channels and all like this, trying to start drama and trying to create something out of thin air, and it's TikTok rumors that this is happening with their house and that they're not paying their house bills and they never paid for their house, or they were never living in their house. So many things with the Ace family, right? And they've always pushed it off as jealous people, or basically just people trying to create drama. They love to pull the drama channel card. They do it so much, way more than anyone else we see. So with all that being said, it's been happening in the background and I've been aware of it, and I've been watching my favorite channels talk about it. But now they've released a video called Our House Story, and if you were on my channel last night, I will link it below. We did over an hour live stream going through the video, and I said that I was going to be making a video after that with my collective opinion, so I would really watch that if you find the time or are interested and want the full thing of what we're talking about. But I kind of have different points that I want to focus on for this video. I have, you know, a little couple notes up here and a couple screenshots from their video that I want to talk about. But my first thing in them addressing the drama is how much these people push Austin and Catherine McBroom, the parents of the family channel, how much they push to their very young audience that they've been wanting to address the drama for so long. You know, they've been wanting to talk about it, and you know, they've just been waiting for the right moment. And let me tell you something, that is not true, because these people jump at any chance to make any sort of content. So if you genuinely believe these people whenever they're saying that, you know, for so long they've been wanting to talk about the drama gets them clicks, and of course they would have done it by now. It's just at a stage now where everyone is seeing that their supposed empire is falling and they can't not address it. So I really do just want to start the video by saying that they make such an effort throughout their video, their long video, it's over an hour long, that they've been wanting to, you know, come on and be transparent for so long, but they've had to be holding in the truth for so long. That is not real. That is not the truth. I can tell you point blank period without saying allegedly, that is not the truth. That is not the truth. And if you believe that your favorite creator wouldn't jump at the chance of talking about drama that other people are talking, no, they were just trying to hope that if they didn't talk about it, they wouldn't bring attention to it and they would never have to address it. However, of course they're addressing it in a way of, you know, you're so grateful that, you know, we are talking about this and, you know, you're so welcome. And it's a way of making the child audience that they have, mainly, almost feel grateful that they're spending the time addressing these rumors. So please keep that in mind. Also, I'm going to jump from topic to topic here because I find that's the best way that my brain can comprehend this. Many things. I'm going to start with, it sounds like the Ace family never even properly lived or owned their house, in my opinion, allegedly. It really does seem from the narrative that they're pushing that basically everyone did them dirty in the process of getting their house. If you didn't know, there was a property that had land, or there was land that had property on it, the other way about. I'm currently filming this at 11 p.m. There was land with 3 or 2 properties on it, right? Like it was in between. It had like 3 houses, right? And Austin went to the developers and asked if it could be put as one big house. They ended up agreeing and there was paperwork, and basically Austin and Catherine are now pushing that that entire process wasn't done properly. That people left, right and center were screwing them over. Business people were being shady, just trying to take their money. They were lying to them. And it's a common theme without going on and on listing every single person who's done them wrong, whether they have or not. It seems incredibly negligent on their part, and it really does seem like they never once were going into this house in a professional or legitimate way ever. And they basically were living in the house, and by I mean basically, I mean they were living in the house without a certificate of occupancy, which the city gives, you know, whenever you're living in a house to say that this is where you live and, you know, this is happening and this is the legality of it. They were basically not even living in this house, and it's interesting that they've been pushing on YouTube for so long. You know, this was their $1 million house that they had pushed into one house, and aren't you so jealous that they live in this big mansion? And basically, it just seems like this was a content creator house that they were basically leasing off of someone, you know. You can go back and forth all day about the payments they were making. Catherine is saying that they were never late on a payment and they never didn't make a payment. But let me tell you something. They wouldn't be dealing with as many issues as what they're dealing with now if they upcapped the payment and if they had properly paid, allegedly, paid back loans that they were taking out. And also, in terms of what they're describing about taking out loans from the bank, but then later on in the video, we'll say if they take out a loan from, you know, a private individual. It basically seems like they just rushed to get a loan from anyone who would give it to them, and that seemed to be a shady person, and then they rushed the entire process of getting the house done, probably to be able to flex it on people like me and you, and didn't go through it in a way that was probably ethical, allegedly, in my opinion. And also, this house seems no different. This family house seems no different than the Team Hen house. It's the hen parties, it's the girls, they are here right before the wedding. It's the Team Hen house. Anyone who wants to join, any to-be brides, let's organize it. No, the Team Tan house, right? And the Hype house and all of these TikTok houses where they're basically almost like on a big loan where like one like shady person will do this and then brings all these creators in. The Ace family's house was basically just that. And they say multiple times in this video that all of the drama about them was just fabricated, but if you put together everything that they said in this video, as sloppy as it was and as nonsensical as it was and the timeline not making sense, it seems that everything that has been said about them by drama channels, by journalists, by commentators was the truth and only the truth. And I mean, people are looking at public records. So if it's embarrassing for Austin and Catherine to see them public, you know, people bringing attention to them, even though they are public, they're probably just saying that it was drama that wasn't true. And in this video, they really don't deny any of it because they really do almost agree with the drama that's out there, you know, by saying that the news is real without saying that it's real. And that's a way of addressing it so that people like me and you know it's the truth, but the child audience really aren't clicking. And it's like, this is my thing. These top family channels are so beyond shady. many other things with the house. My main issue, right, was that they said that they had, first of all, they said they had no gas in the house. I'm going somewhere with this. They said they had no gas in the house and that their private chef had to cook with all of these different, you know, like handheld appliances to be able to actually make things. But then later in the videos say that they had a gas leak, and that was one of the main problems with the house, and they had to get out of the house immediately. You know, at the time where the bank were basically like, get out, allegedly, you know, the foreclosure, and whenever the loan people are taking the house back, allegedly, in my opinion, just from what I'm gathering. It's interesting that there was a gas leak at that time, you know, that made them want to so desperately get out of the house. But previously in the video, they say that there was no gas in the house. Something I picked up on. Also, something I'm not seeing people talk about enough was how negligent their parenting seemed in the house. Catherine says in this video, in a way of shaming the house, that it didn't have any, you know, heating. Didn't have any cold water, or it didn't have any hot water, and all they had was cold water. And she's like, you know, we had to give the kids cold baths and cold showers, and we just didn't have any heating, didn't have any, you know, the house was so cold all year round, the kids were so cold. And I'm like, this is a millionaire YouTuber who makes millions coming on here trying to make us feel bad that their kids were basically given cold temperatures and given cold baths and living in a really cold house. And they're trying to make us feel like, oh my god, that house was a mess and we feel so bad for you and oh my god, your kids had to do this. No, I was not taking it like that at all. I was taking it as, how dare you? You know, the Ace family are people that flex that they can go on multiple vacations all year round. And ironically enough, they say that they filmed this video, the Our House Story video, on vacation where their kids are back home in, you know, California. And I don't see them saying that about their kids having to go through this as a, oh my god, I'm so sorry, this house was a mess. I'm seeing this as, in my opinion, negligent parenting. If you have that amount of money, how hard would it have been not only to invest the money and get the heating sorted, or take your kids to an Airbnb and pay a couple $1,000 a month so that your kids are able to get warmth and that your kids are able to not live in a freezing cold fucking shell of a mansion? Because it was like barely even fucking finished, that they were like complaining about as well, even though it was their responsibility. And, you know, getting your kids warm baths. It's like, these kids are being put on YouTube every single day, making their parents hundreds of thousands of dollars, and none of that money can be put into even just like having your kid stay in a warm climate, having your kid have a warm bath. You know, she said at the time that she had the 2 kids and was pregnant with one, and it's like, okay, Austin, you're having your pregnant wife stay in this house as well, and it's like, you don't even have a certificate of occupancy, so there's no real reason for you to be staying at this house. Other things, they were basically trying to get sympathy for things going wrong in the house, but in the video would have to flex on how much money they spent on it. Basically, they told us that they spent $45,000 on a door because they had to replace their previous door that, because of the really hot sun in California, was basically making their door misshape and the door was not working anymore. So they had to spend $45,000 on a door. And they tried to tell us that the door was $45,000, but we later found out that it was only $2,000 and we were basically scammed of all that money. And here's the thing, rich people tears. I don't give a fuck. Literally, like, the sentence after telling us that you can't even, like, basically afford to give your child warmth, you're like, and then we just, you know, spent $45K on a door and then we realized that we were basically scammed and all we need to pay for it was $2,000. It's like, you have all this money that you're making from your kids and you can't even, like, a little bit invest it in them, and you can't even smartly spend it on things. And it's like, all right, sell one of your cars. Like, you have all these cars, and it's like, I don't feel bad whenever they're, and all the comments are feeling bad for them, being like, I'm so sorry you had to go through this with the house. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it because it's a young audience, but I don't understand why there's adults in the comments sympathizing with these people who are very clearly trying to flex on you still that they have all this money, but trying to do it in a way of also getting sympathy. And they say throughout this video that they're not trying to play the victims. However, literally the entire video is them being per me, but not being per me, like money-wise. They're like, we're so rich still. Like, per me isn't feel bad, even though they're not playing the victim. It's so confusing. It's so confusing. Let me see. Going through the list of things that I have here, they basically keep saying that they were scammed by the people who made the house. And basically the people who were the contractors and building it. And it's just so ironic to me and so how convenient that every single person involved in the process of this house did you dirty. Like at a certain stage, if you think that you did bad or whatever, are you not even going to look inward, Catherine and Austin, and realize that maybe you shouldn't have signed with some people who were just the cheapest of the cheapest who would do the job for you? Or it's ridiculous. And it's like, from an outsider's point of view, it really does seem like they hired all these shady people who were willing to do this, who were willing to give shady loans, who were willing to have them live at the house without having a certificate of occupancy. And they're telling us these stories like, can you believe we were staying at this house without a certificate of occupancy? And it's ridiculous to me because all these rich people get to live in mansions, right? Without even, allegedly, making their house payments, not being able to, from the city of California, live in the house without having a certificate of occupancy. And we have all these people out on the streets of especially California who can't even go into the office of these like housing executives to be able to talk to them about wanting to get a house or getting shelter and stuff like this, right? And people shame them for not having the money to be able to afford this. But we have literal fucking celebrities. Sorry, I'm getting text. Let's turn that down. Literal celebrities living in mansions who aren't even making their payments, who aren't even supposed to live there, don't even have the certificate to live there. But it's okay because they're rich. You know, the system just favors rich people, and it's fucking disgusting, and I cannot believe that they had the audacity to come on and complain about all this whenever they also admit in the video that they're not even, like, supposed to be basically living at the house. But don't worry, y'all. They end up at the end of the video telling us that, you know, they got out of that disaster of a house and they've now moved on to a $1 million house that they're so happy with. But don't worry about them. You know, they've got their certificate of occupancy now after all these years of living in this house. And it's like fucking ridiculous. And so, one point I want to make as well, I have it brought up here. They basically say as a criticism of the house and criticism that they were done dirty trying to get out of a scandal. I don't know if you remember, but not that long ago, Austin and Catherine were in a scandal because the neighbors were getting really angry at them because they have a pool in their house and it's, you know, just like a normal size, like maybe even on the smaller side pool, just for a house. And it's almost surface level to overlooking the mountains. And then there's a hill because that's the way those pools are designed, so they have that view and, you know, you just get in the pool and you swim around and you do tricks or whatever. No. The controversy was that Austin tried to be funny by getting on a jet ski in that pool and going around doing donuts, trying to make the water overflow so that the content in the video would be, ha 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 ha, so funny, look at all this water going over, and Catherine's like, Austin, get out. I'm actually now going to bring this up to show you. I wonder if I could get the clip, Ace Family Pool Jet Ski. I wonder if I could get this up, right? Oh, yes. So, the neighbors had filmed a video where, you know, you could see from underneath that they were doing this. Sorry, there's this soundbite. Look, you can see over here that they're causing a mudslide because of doing this in the pool. Are you fucking seeing that? They're literally ruining all the properties below. So this is the neighbors recording. Ruining all the properties below them because Austin thought for great content, they still have the videos up. They still have all the videos up. And it's just so disgusting that, like, this is a family channel, right? Where the parents' ego is like, oh, people only care about us. So he was basically going around on the jet ski thinking it would be so funny to basically go around doing donuts, knowing that the water was going off the edge down the mountain and flooding everyone's houses below. But don't worry, y'all. They managed to make it a per me story. They managed to make that a per me story. Do you want to know what they did? They basically were like, the house was, you know, so bad, so badly constructed. You know, whenever Austin was in that drama with the jet ski, the reason we didn't talk about it, they make it like the reason they didn't talk about it was because they couldn't with the house. Not the fact that mainstream media were attacking them so much in the YouTube community that there was no way out of it. They were clearly in the wrong. And they're like, we can finally talk about it. And it's like, that's bullshit. They basically blame them getting in that drama on the fact that the pool didn't have a surrounding on it that would catch the water. And here's the thing, they show a clip in which The pool does have that. It just wasn't expecting a dumbass to go around on a jet ski overflowing the water. And they literally blame the contractors and the builders of the house for that drama. They're like, this wouldn't have happened without. And so there was a house below that had like a vineyard and, you know, all these grapes. And it basically flooded and ruined that with the mudslides. And it's like, I do not see the appeal with these people whatsoever. All my notes have here is just complaining about a bunch of other things. And it's like, that's my take on the video. That's my take on the video. It's so frustrating, and I really want to know what your opinion is of it. I really would like to know, so please talk to me below about it. I would really appreciate your time and just to hear what you have to say. And if you watch this video, I'm really grateful. Thank you so much for spending time with me. These people are just... Ugh. Mm-mm.